Good morning, students. Today we see about a new lesson in botany 8 unit environmental issues. First of all, what is mean by environmental issues? Yes, what is mean by environmental issues? நம்மளுடைய எர்த்துக்கு தீங்கு விளைவிக்கக்கூடிய இஷ்யூஸில் என்ன சொல்கிறோம்? என்விரான்மெண்டல் இஷ்யூஸ். தென் கிவ் சம் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் ஃபார் என்விரான்மெண்டல் இஷ்யூஸ். Pollution, then global warming, these are all called as the environmental issues. Okay, today we see about a new lesson, environmental issues. After understanding the structure and functions of major ecosystem of the world, now students community should observe and understand environmental problems of their surroundings at local, national and international level. Now we are going to understand some of the environmental issues. What are they? Here see the figure 8.1, overpopulation. That is also one environmental issue, isn't it? Yes, நிறைய பாப்புலேஷன் இந்தியாவில் வந்துருச்சுன்னா என்னதாகும்? இட் வில் காசஸ் மோர் பொல்யூஷன். மோர் பொல்யூஷன், தெர் இஸ் inadequacy of food. These also some environmental issues. Then next one, health issues, then waste disposal, then all type of pollution, greenhouse gases, ozone depletion, then water, energy, food scarcity. These are all called as the environmental issues. Then deforestation, climate change, industrialization, urbanization impact. These are some of the environmental issues. Environmental issues are the problems and harmful effects created by humans, unmindful activity and overutilization of valuable resources obtained from the nature. Students should understand not only the environmental issues we are facing now, but also find the solution to rectify or reduce these problems. Countries of the world agree that something needs to be done about these important environmental issues. Many global summits, conferences and conventions are regularly conducted by the United Nations, and many steps are taken to minimize the human-induced issues by signing agreement with around 150 countries. Yes, the next, see that drastic increase in population resulted in demand for more productivity of food material, fiber, fuel, which led to many environmental issues in agriculture. Land use modifications resulting in loss of biodiversity, land degradation, reduction in freshwater availability, and also resulting in man-made global warming by greenhouse gases, even altering the climatic condition. First we see about the greenhouse effect and global warming. Greenhouse effect is a process by which radiant heat from the sun is captured by gases in the atmosphere that increases the temperature of earth ultimately. That is called as the greenhouse effect. Here the temperature will be increased. The gases that capture the heat are called as the greenhouse gases, which include, it consists of carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide and variety of manufactured chemical like chlorofluorocarbon. Increase in greenhouse gases lead to irreversible changes. Greenhouse gases when they increase ஆக நம்மளுடைய லைஃப் ப்ராசஸ் எல்லாமே என்னதாகும்? It will be irreversible, not reversible changes. It takes in a irreversible changes. See the figure 8.2, relative contribution of greenhouse gases. Already I said some of the gases that present in greenhouse gases. What are they? Carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon and other some chemical. Here the out of 100%, 60% occupy the carbon dioxide and 20% occupy the methane and 14% occupy the chlorofluorocarbon, and remaining 6% occupy the other chemicals, isn't it? Yes. Next we see the here in major ecosystem and climate patterns. For example, coral ecosystem is affected by increase in temperature. Coral ecosystem இந்த பவளப்பாறைகள் அதெல்லாம் எதனால affect ஆகுதுன்னா, it will be if the temperature will be increased, so that only it will be affected. Then especially the coral bleaching observed in Gulf of Mannar Tamil Nadu. Okay, mainly it is affected in Gulf of Mannar in Tamil Nadu. Okay, next the human activities lead to produce the greenhouse effect by human activities lead to produce the greenhouse effect by burning fossil fuel. நம்மளால human activities வந்து human activities மூலமாக greenhouse gas வந்து அதிகமாகுது. எதனாலனா burning fossil fuel which release the fossil fuel burn பண்ணுறதுனால it will releases the carbon dioxide and methane. Okay, so that only the greenhouse gases increased. Next, way of agriculture and animal husbandry practices. Then third one, electrical gadget like refrigerator and air conditioner release. Yes, this is the main reason. Okay, fridges and AC, okay, these are releases some chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, so that only it affect the nature. It increases the greenhouse gas. Okay, greenhouse effect. Okay, the next, the fertilizer used in agriculture that releases nitrogen dioxide N2O, so that also it causes the greenhouse effect. Then the emissions from automobiles. Here there is the radiation of emissions from radiations emitted from the automobile. Okay, so these are the human activities that leads to produce the greenhouse effect. Okay, first, burning of fossil fuel. If we burn the fossil fuel means it releases the carbon dioxide and methane. Okay, then the way of agriculture and animal husbandry practices. Then by using the electrical gadgets like refrigerator and air conditioner, it releases some chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, it may also lead to produce the greenhouse effect. Then the fertilizer that used in agriculture, it releases the nitrogen dioxide. Then the emission from the automobile. So these are the human activities lead to produce the greenhouse effect. Then the increase in mean global temperature, that is the highest in 4000 years due to increased concentration of greenhouse gases, is called as the global warming. Okay, what is meant by global warming? Increase in mean global temperature. Okay, the temperature is increased, that is called as the global warming. One of the reason for this, overpopulation. Okay, one of the major reason for global warming is overpopulation, which create growing need for food, fiber and fuel, and considered to be the major cause of the global warming. Okay, then see the do you know box. Clouds and dust particles can also produce the greenhouse effect. That is why clouds and dust and humid nights are warmer than clear dust free dry nights. Okay, then next, effects of global warming. Okay, if the rise in global temperature means which causes the sea level to rise as a polar ice caps and glacier begin to melt, causing submergence of many coastal cities in many part of the world. Yes, if the temperature rise ஆக என்னதாகும், நிறைய அந்த போலார் ஐஸ் கேப்ஸு, அதுக்கப்புறம் அந்த பனிமலைகள், ஓகே, ஐஸ் ஹில்ஸ் that will be melted, that start to melted. Okay, now also it causes it start to melt, isn't it? Yes, so this is the major effect of rise in global warming. Okay, then second one, there will be a drastic change in weather pattern bringing more flood or drought in some areas. Okay, if the global warming is raised means, that means the temperature is raised means that there is a climatic changes, drastic changes in weather. Okay, more flood and more drought will be occur in some particular areas. Okay, then the biological diversity may get modified, some species range get redefined. Tropic and subtropic may face the problem of decreased food production. Okay, due to this global warming, some food production will also be decreased in some tropic and subtropical region. Okay, so these are the effects of global warming. Okay, so these are the effects of global warming. Next we see the ozone depletion. Take page number 157. Okay, next we see the ozone depletion. Okay, ozone layer is a region of Earth's stratosphere that absorbs most of the sun's ultraviolet radiation. The ozone layer is also called as the ozone shield, and it acts as a protective shield cutting the ultraviolet radiation emitted by the sun. What is meant by ozone layer? Ozone layer is also known as the ozone shield. Okay, underline that word. It acts as a one protective shield. Okay, the ozone layer is act as one protective shield. Okay, the sun contains so many radiation, isn't it? Yes, the sun contains so many ultraviolet radiation. That ozone layer is one protective shield that only protect that ரேடியேஷன் ஃப்ரம் சன். ஓகே, அதுதான் என்னது, நம்மளை சன்னோட ரேடியேஷன்லேருந்து நம்மளை பாதுகாக்கிறதுக்கு என்னதான் இந்த ஓசோன் லேயர். ஓகே, ஸோ ஜஸ்ட் அபோவ் த atmosphere, here there are two layers, namely troposphere, that is the lowest layer, and the stratosphere, this is the upper layer. Okay, just above the atmosphere there are two layers are there. What are they? Troposphere and stratosphere. Troposphere is the lower layer and stratosphere is the upper layer. Here the ozone layer of the troposphere is called the bad ozone. Okay, troposphere is the bad ozone, underline that, and the ozone layer of stratosphere is known as the good ozone. Okay, troposphere is the bad ozone and the stratosphere is the good ozone, because this layer acts as a shield for absorbing UV radiation coming from the sun, which is harmful for living organism. Okay, so here the ozone is a colorless gas. Okay, ozone is a colorless gas. It reacts readily with air pollutant and cause rubber to crack, hurt plant life, damages the lung tissues. But ozone absorbs the harmful ultraviolet beta, UV beta and UV alpha radiation from the sunlight. What is Dobson unit? That is called as the DU. DU is the unit of measurement for the total ozone. Okay, so 1 DU, that is 0.001 atmospheric ATM dot cm centimeter is the number of molecule of ozone that would be required to create a layer of pure ozone, that is 0.01 millimeter thick at a temperature of 0 degree Celsius and a pressure of 1 atmosphere, which is equal to the air pressure at the surface of earth. So total ozone layer over the earth surface is 0.3 centimeter, that is 3 millimeter thick and is written as 300 DU. What is meant by DU? DU is the Dobson unit. Okay, Dobson unit means it is used to measure the total, how much amount of ozone is there. Okay, the false color view of total ozone, that is the purple and the blue colors are where there is the least ozone, and the yellow and red where there more ozone. Okay, then next we see the take page number 158, causing DNA damage. The thickness of the ozone column of air from the ground to the top of the atmosphere is measured in terms of Dobson unit. The ozone shield is being damaged by chemical released on Earth's surface, notably the chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, the ozone maximum எதனால it will be affectனா, எதனால இது பாதிக்கப்படுதுன்னா இந்த ரெஃப்ரிஜிரேட்டர்லேருந்தும் ஏசிலேருந்து வரக்கூடிய chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, so widely used in refrigeration, aerosols, chemical used as cleaners in many industries. Then decline in the thickness of ozone layer over restricted area is called as the ozone hole. அதனால தான் என்ன சொல்கிறாங்க, ஓசோனில் ஓட்டை விழுந்துருச்சு அப்படி சொல்கிறது. ஓகே, so that September 16 is a World Ozone Day. Underline that. When will you celebrate the World Ozone Day? September 16. So ozone depletion in the stratosphere results in more UV radiation, especially UVB radiation, that is called as the short wave. UVB radiation destroy the biomolecule, that is skin aging, and damages living tissues. Okay, here the UVC is the most damaging type of, UVB is the short wave and UVC is the most damaging type of UV radiation, but it is completely filtered by the atmosphere. Okay, the UVC is completely filtered by the atmosphere Here the UV contribute 95% of UV radiation, which causes the tanning, burning of skin and enhancing the skin cancer. Okay, this UV radiation causes the skin cancer. Hence the uniform ozone layer is critical for the well-being of life on Earth. Okay, so that here two waves are there, UVB radiation and UVC radiation. UVB radiation is called as the short wave. It destroys the biomolecules and damages to the tissues, living tissues. But UVC radiation is the most damaging type of the UV radiation. It is completely filtered by the atmosphere. Then this UV radiation causes the skin cancer. Okay. Then during 1970s, research finding indicated that man-made chlorofluorocarbon, that is CFC, reduce and convert ozone molecule in the atmosphere. The threat associated with reduced ozone pushed the issue to the forefront of global climate issue and gained promotion through organizations such as the World Meteorological Organization and the United Nations. The Vienna Convention was agreed upon at the Vienna Conference of 1985 but entered into force in 1988, provided the framework necessary to create the regulative measures in the form of Montreal Protocol. The international treaty, underline that, international treaty called the Montreal Protocol, that is 1987, was held in Canada on the substance that deplete ozone layer, which substances that causes the depletion in ozone layer, and the main goal of it is gradually eliminating the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances and to limit their damage on earth ozone layer. Okay, the next clean development mechanism, that is called as the CDM, underline that, CDM means clean development mechanism, is defined in the Kyoto Protocol in the year 2007, which provide the project-based mechanism with two objectives. First, to prevent the dangerous climate change and to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Okay, two objectives are there. First one is prevent the dangerous climate change. Then the second one is to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. Then the clean development mechanism projects help the countries to reduce or limit the emissions and stimulate the sustainable development. For example, the CDM project activity is replacement of conventional electrification project with solar panels or other energy efficient boiler. Such project can earn certified emission reduction (CER) with credit scores each equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide, which can be counted towards the meeting Kyoto target. Okay, the next plant indicator. Here the presence or absence of certain plants indicate the state of environment by their response. The plant species or plant community act as a measure of environmental condition. It is referred as the biological indicators or phytoindicators or plant indicators. Okay. For example, plants, some plants are there, some indicators are there. Lichens, ficus, pinus and rose. These are SO2 pollution. Then Petunia chrysanthemum. It causes the indication of nitrate. Then gladiolus, it causes the indication of fluoride pollution. Then Robinia pseudoacacia, that is the black locust tree. Here indicator of the heavy metal contamination. So these are the plant indicator. Okay, next we see about what are the effects of ozone depletion. Here the main ozone depletion's effects are increase the incidence of cataract. What is meant by cataract? கண்ணில் பாதிக்கக்கூடிய நோய், கண்ணில் பூ விழுந்துடுச்சு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் as the cataract. Okay, so increases the incidence of cataract, throat and lung irritation and aggravation of asthma or emphysema, skin cancer and diminishing the functioning of immune system in human being. It also affect the human immune system. Okay, then next the juvenile mortality of animal. Okay, it reduces the young ones. It reduces the mortality of young ones. Then increase the incidence of mutation. It increases the incidence of mutations. Then next, in plants, photosynthetic chemicals will be affected and therefore the photosynthesis will be inhibited Decreased photosynthesis will result in the increased atmospheric carbon dioxide, resulting in global warming and also the shortage of food, leading to the food crisis. Okay. Then next one, increase in temperature changes the climatic and also affect the climatic change. Rainfall pattern may result in flood. It may causes more flood and more drought in some area, and seawater rise, imbalance in ecosystem. It affect the flora and fauna. Okay, so these are the effects of ozone depletion. Okay, next we see the forestry. Here first we see the agroforestry. Agroforestry is an integration of trees, crops. Agroforestry means it has some trees, crops and livestock on the same plot of land. So that is called as the agroforestry. Here the main objective is on the interaction among them. For example, intercropping of two or more crop between the different species of trees and shrub, which result in higher yielding and reducing the operation cost. The international combination of agricultural and forestry has varied benefit, including increased biodiversity and reduced erosion. Some of the major species cultivated in commercial agroforestry include Casarnia, eucalyptus, Malay bamboo, teak and kadambu trees, which were among the 20 species identified as the commercial timber. Okay, different kinds of trees are planted in the same environment, that is called as the agroforestry. Here they are great importance to wood based industries. These kinds of trees are have the great importance to wood based industry. Okay, so what are the benefits of agro based industry? Here it is an answer to the problem of soil and water it conserve the soil and water, and also to stabilize the soil. Stabilize the soil means it maintain the salinity and water table. Okay, then reduce the landslide and water runoff problem. Then nutrient cycling between the species improve and organic matter is maintained. Then tree provide microclimate for crops and maintain the oxygen carbon dioxide is in equal balanced. Then atmospheric temperature and relative humidity. Then suitable for dry land where rainfall is minimum, and hence it is a good system for alternate the land use pattern. Okay, then multi-purpose tree varieties like acacia tree is used for the wood pulp, tanning, paper and firewood industries. Then agroforestry is recommended for the following purposes. For what? It can be used as a farm forestry for the extension of forest, mixed forestry, shelter belt and linear stripe plantation. So these are the benefits of agroforestry. Okay. Then next, the rehabilitation of degraded forest and recreation forestry. Rehabilitation of degraded forest and the recreations forestry. Here the production of wood plants combined with the pasture is referred to as the silvopasture system. Here the trees and shrub may be used primarily to produce the fodder for livestock, or they may be grown for the timber. Okay, here the leaves are grown mainly for the timber and fuel wood, and fruit or to improve the soil also. Here this system is classified into the two categories. One is the protein bank and another one is leaf fence of folded trees and hedges. Okay, one is protein bank and another one is leaf fence of folded trees and hedges. First we see about the protein bank. Here in this, various multi-purpose trees are planted in and around farmlands and rangelands mainly for food production. Okay, here there so many trees are planted in the farms, and these plants are mainly for the food production. For example, Acacia nilotica, Albizia lebec, then Azadi recta indica, then Glyricidia sapiem, then Sesbania grandiflora. Okay, so these are the kinds of plants are planted in this protein bank. The next one, leaf fence of fodder trees and hedges. Leaf fence of fodder trees and hedges. Various fodder trees and hedges are planted as leaf fence to protect the property from stray animals or other biotic influences. Okay. This kind of trees are planted for protect the land from other animals or biotic influences. For example, Glyricida sapien, Sesbania grandiflora, Erythenia sap, Acacia sap. Okay, so these are the types of plants in leaf fence or fodder trees and hedges. So here the agro-based forestry, rehabilitation of degraded forest are classified into two types. One is protein bank and the other one is leaf fence of fodder trees and hedges. Okay students, so today we see about the environmental issues. What are the environmental issues are there? Overpopulation, health issues, waste disposal, all pollutions, greenhouse gases, ozone depletion, then scarcity of food, deforestation. Okay, so many environmental issues are there. Then next we see about the greenhouse effect and global warming. What are the gases that including greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon and other some gases. Okay, next we see the ozone depletion. Okay, next we see the ozone depletion. Then what are the effects of ozone depletion? And we say the forestry. Here forestry, agroforestry means is an integration of trees and crops and livestocks are in the same plot of land. Okay, so that is called as the agroforestry. Then next we see the benefits. What are the benefits of agroforestry? Then rehabilitation of degraded forest and recreation of forestry. Here it is classified into two categories. One is protein bank and the other one is leaf fence of fodder trees and hedges. Okay students, you all understand? Okay, today I give some homework for you. Take your zoology book, take the note and write the question. Okay, this is the zoology PTA questions, important PTA questions. First question, distinguish between merozoid and sporozoid. Distinguish between merozoid and sporozoid. Merozoid, MEROZOITES, merozoid and sporozoid. Okay, the next question, have you all read the question or not? Okay, right. Then second question, diagrammatic representation of spermatogenesis. Diagrammatic representation of spermatogenesis. Then third question, distinguish between mutualism and commensalism. Distinguish between mutualism, MUTUALISM, mutualism and commensalism, COMMENSALISM, commensalism. Then fourth question, why do we call parthenogenesis as a special type of sexual reproduction in animal? Why do we call parthenogenesis as a special type of sexual reproduction in animals? Have you all read the question? Why do we call parthenogenesis as a special type of sexual reproduction in animals? Okay, for this question I give the answer for you. You write the answer. Okay, these animals without the involvement of gamete formation. This is the first point. These animals without the involvement of gamete formation. These animals without the involvement of gamete formation. Then second point, development of an egg into a complete organism. Development of an egg into a complete organism without fertilization. Development of an egg into a complete organism without fertilization is called parthenogenesis. Okay, so this question have 2 points. What is the question? Why do we call parthenogenesis as a special type of sexual reproduction in animal? First point, these animal without the involvement of gamete formation. Then second point, development of an egg into a complete organism without a fertilization is called parthenogenesis. Then fifth question, write the Wiener hypothesis for RH plus phenotype. Write the Wiener hypothesis for RH plus phenotype. Okay, so write these 5, study and write these 5 question in your note. Okay, study and write this 5 question in your note. Okay, very important question. First question is distinguish between merozoid and sporozoid. Okay, then second question, diagrammatic representation of spermatogenesis. Then third question, distinguish between mutualism and commensalism. Then fourth question, why do we call parthenogenesis as a special type of sexual reproduction in animals? Then fifth question, write the Weiner hypothesis for RH type. Okay student, RH phenotype. Okay students, thank you. Study this question and write in your zoology note. Okay, thank you.